In 1613, during the 18th year of the Kicho era, Masamune Date met with Ieyasu Tokugawa for a discussion. Lord Ieyasu, until now, all trade with the southern barbarians has been confined to Sakai. Let us establish a new trade route along the eastern sea Pacific Ocean, proposed Masamune. How do you envision this? Ieyasu inquired. With Toyotomi Hideyoshi to the west, if we don't create a trade route to the east, only the west will prosper. How about routing the eastern trade path through Sendai, with its final destination being Edo Bay? Masamune suggested. Who do you have in mind as the trading partner? Although collectively referred to as southern barbarians, there are several countries involved. How about Spain? We have already begun advancing the manufacture of trading ships. Ieyasu pondered the proposal. While he was concerned that trade might empower the Sendai domain financially, he recognized that currently, only the west had sea routes. If the terminal was set in Edo Bay, it would enhance Edo's finances, making it a worthwhile consideration despite the risks. Understood, proceed as suggested, Ieyasu finally conceded. With Ieyasu Tokugawa's permission, Masamune Date dispatched the Kicho-era mission to Europe on the newly constructed galleon ship, the San Juan Bautista. The delegation was sent to Spain and Rome, carrying personal letters from both Ieyasu and Masamune to the King of Spain and the Pope in Rome. During this mission, Masamune entrusted a Spanish missionary, who was part of the delegation, with a verbal message for the Pope. The message was, the Lord of Sendai Domain, Date Masamune, will convert to Christianity. From now on, I will fight under the guidance of the Pope, and I ask for your assistance in unifying Japan. Masamune harbored secret ambitions to conquer all of Japan. During this period, Tokugawa Ieyasu viewed both Toyotomi Hideyoshi in the west and Date Masamune in the east as significant threats. Ieyasu wanted to eliminate Masamune and the Sendai domain, but he was constrained by several factors. One was that Ieyasu's sixth son, Matsudaira Tadedaru, had married Masamune's eldest daughter, Hirohahime. Additionally, Tadedaru's advisor was Okubo Nagayasu, a powerful figure who controlled all the gold and silver mines across the country and thus held substantial influence over the shogunate's finances. Although Ieyasu had initiated the primogeniture system, making it likely for his son Hidetada to succeed him as the second shogun, the position of the third shogun was not firmly established. There was a possibility that Tadedaru, backed by the influential Okubo and potentially becoming the third shogun, could place Masamune in a position of great power as the shogun's father-in-law. Ieyasu was determined to prevent this scenario, but Okubo's significant control over the shogunate's finances made him untouchable. However, in 1613, the year of Kicho 18, Okubo died of illness. Seizing this opportunity, Ieyasu accused the Okubo family of corruption, confiscated their lands, and had all 7 of Okubo's children commit seppuku. This drastic action not only removed the potential threat but also reinforced Ieyasu's authority over the shogunate's governance. After removing one threat, Tokugawa Ieyasu quickly moved on to address another, focusing on the Toyotomi clan before the Kicho mission delegates returned from Spain. The spark for Ieyasu's action came from the inscription on the bell of the reconstructed Honganji temple, which read national peace and prosperity, and joy for lord and vassal. Ieyasu claimed that the phrase national peace and prosperity was a thinly veiled curse against the Tokugawa and a wish for the prosperity of the Toyotomi clan, using this as a pretext to escalate tensions. Additionally, Ieyasu made an unreasonable demand that the Toyotomi send Lady Yodo, Hideyori's mother, as a hostage, knowing well that such a demand would not be accepted. Enraged and seeing no other recourse, the Toyotomi began preparations for war. This led to the siege of Osaka, encompassing both the winter and summer campaigns, where Ieyasu's forces surrounded Osaka Castle with a massive army. The sieges were brutally effective, gradually squeezing the life out of the Toyotomi resistance, much like strangling someone with silk, ultimately leading to the clan's destruction. On April 17, 1616, Tokugawa Ieyasu passed away due to illness. Subsequently, on July 6, his brother, Tokugawa Hidetada, ordered the disinheritance of Matsudaira Tadadaru, Hidetada's own brother, due to several incidents. During the march to Osaka for the summer campaign, Tadadaru's troops allegedly overtook the formation of Hidetada's direct retainers near Moriyama in Omi Province, leading to the killing of Hidetada's retainer, Nagasaka Nobutoshi. After the battle, Ieyasu had ordered Tadadaru to accompany him to the imperial court to report the victory. However, Tadadaru, citing illness, failed to make the visit. Instead, he was reportedly enjoying boating on the Katsura River in Saga. Upon returning, Tadadaru did not use the main roads as required and did not obtain permission for his route, opting instead for byways. Despite possessing a large domain, Tadadaru allegedly misused his funds for personal matters and complained of a lack of military funds. As a consequence of Tadadaru's disinheritance, his marriage to Masamune's daughter, Iroha, was annulled, and she returned to her father, Masamune date. This series of events effectively removed one potential source of support and influence for Masamune within the Tokugawa regime, further isolating him and consolidating the Tokugawa family's control. Masamune date had cultivated a broad and deep network of relationships with various daimyo through regular correspondence and the timely exchange of gifts. Consequently, he continuously received information suggesting that Hidetada Tokugawa was preparing to launch a military campaign against Sendai. Upon receiving such reports, Masamune convened a military council with his chief retainers. As I feared, the Tokugawa are indeed preparing to crush our Sendai domain. The dismissal of Tadadaru must have been part of their preparations for this attack, Masamune explained to his council. "What will you do, my lord?" one of his retainers asked. "Against the old fox of Tokugawa, maybe I'd hesitate. But this is Hidetada, a greenhorn. We will meet him head on." "How shall we prepare to meet them?" asked Katakura Kojuro, one of Masamune's trusted retainers. After a moment of thought, Masamune decided, "We'll strike directly at Edo via the Abukama River." "Understood. Everyone, begin preparations," Kojuro responded. "Yes, my lord," the retainers echoed, mobilizing to prepare for the forthcoming conflict. Masamune date had anticipated a potential attack from the Tokugawa and had prepared 3 strategies in response. The first strategy involved luring the Tokugawa forces to Sendai and then blocking the downstream of the Hirose River, which flows through Sendai Castle town. This would cause the river to overflow towards the suburbs, hindering the enemy's advance and setting the stage for a night attack to disrupt their ranks. The second strategy was to advance to Saikawa, deploying his forces in front of Umagyu Swamp and taking a defensive stand with the Saikawa River at their backs, effectively creating a last stand scenario known in Japanese as backs to the river, Hisui no Jin. Ultimately, Masamune chose the third and final strategy for his defense. This strategic decision highlighted his readiness to confront the threat head-on, reflecting his military acumen and his determination to protect his domain from the advancing Tokugawa forces. On September 15, 1616, the Date Army, consisting of 25,000 troops, split its forces into 2 groups. The main body of 20,000 men was positioned at Amori and Date territory, while the remaining 5,000 were hidden as an ambush force along the northern side of the Ashu Highway. This arrangement was the closest to Edo among the 3 strategic plans Masamune had prepared. "Kojuro, how are the arrangements with the Ronin going?" Masamune inquired. "Yes, we have used the funds accumulated from trade with Spain to pay these Ronin. We have arranged for them to rise in arms in various locations. We were also able to contact former retainers of Okubo Nagayasu and Matsudaira Tadedaru, and we expect to gather around 20,000 men, Kojuro responded. Good. Ensure strict military discipline, looting is prohibited. Understood. And the provisions? We have secured the routes from Sendai, and since it's after the harvest, we have also purchased supplies from the villages around this area. Good. This strategic preparation reflected Masamune's thorough planning and ability to leverage his resources and connections effectively in anticipation of conflict with the Tokugawa forces. 2 days later, on September 17, the Tokugawa army, approximately 80,000 strong, deployed along the Yashu Highway. Both sides exchanged envoys, presenting their arguments. Masamune's side claimed that there was no justification for being attacked and strove to avoid the commencement of hostilities as much as possible. 4 days after the deployment, the area was struck by a violent storm in the afternoon. Masamune called Kojuro and asked, "Is everything prepared?" "Yes, the upstream damming is complete, and downstream we have prepared the timber and stones needed for the blockade," Kojuro confirmed. It was worth the wait. At sunrise tomorrow morning, we will execute our plan. Make sure they do not notice anything. The next morning, as the sun rose, the Tokugawa forces arrayed across the Fukushima plain from Kunimi to Kori were hit by a flood. The flash flood surged from upstream, and the waters persisted across the plains without receding. The Ibukama River, which flows near the Yashu Highway, was historically known as a violent river prone to frequent flooding. Masamune used the flooding of the Ibukama River to submerge the Tokugawa forces, launching a swift attack amidst the chaos. The sudden assault and flooding threw the Tokugawa troops into disarray, prompting them to begin retreating toward Edo. This was the moment when the 5,000 hidden troops struck from the side, further disrupting the Tokugawa forces. "Kojuro, will push forward all the way to Edo now," Masamune declared, emboldened by the chaos within the Tokugawa ranks. "Lord, Ronin troops from the Matsudaira clan are rushing from Takata and Joetsu. We might be able to encircle the enemy if we continue," Kojuro informed. "What about Okubo's forces?" "They were heading from Hachioji towards Edo but can turn back to join the pincer attack." "Good. Instruct the Joetsu forces to let some of the Tokugawa troops pass and then strike from the side. We'll split the Tokugawa forces in two. One part will be caught between the Hachioji and Joetsu forces, and the other part will be squeezed between our forces and those from Joetsu." "The orders have already been sent as per the plan," Kojuro confirmed. "Excellent, everyone, let's show the Tokugawa what we're made of," Masamune rallied his troops. "Yes, my lord." Now a daimyo, Masamune, who was 30 years younger than Hideyoshi and 25 years younger than Ieyasu, was racing towards potentially becoming a supreme ruler. Mounted on his horse, he eyed the fleeing Tokugawa forces, his lone left eye sharply focused on the ambition of Tenka supreme rule. The rain had stopped, and the sky, clear and endlessly blue in the wake of the typhoon, seemed to mirror the vastness of his ambitions.